So, the other day, I was streaming on Twitch, and somebody had asked, Aaron, why don't you play Minecraft? And I thought, that's a great idea. However, I don't know how to do that. Yes, technically I could just hit stream and then record Minecraft, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do it kind of differently. So, what I decided was I'm going to do this in two parts. One part Let's Play, another part stream. So, what I have for you is the first 50 hours of my Minecraft world. I was going to do the first 100 days, but I lost count, and 50 hours is just easier for me right now. But, without further ado, I'm going to show you how I went from this to this. I have a surprise at the end for all of you, so stick around, and I'll see you in a moment. We start off our first hour, as any normal Minecraft player would, by spawning into the world. I start by punching on my first tree. Yes, it is birch. Don't come at me. I just want to use birch and not oak. Finding my first patch of pumpkins was perfect, because I knew I needed these for my emerald trades later on. Even more luckily, I stumbled upon a village right outside the pumpkin patch. And of course, I was super respectful of their customs and cultures, and definitely did not, I stole everything from these guys. I didn't leave anything for them. You know, I was about 10 minutes into this world, so I thought about now is a great time to make my first set of tools. And by tools, I mean a wooden pickaxe, because any other wooden item is useless. End of conversation. After getting my first thing of stone, I made a stone pickaxe, and then I started on actual stone tools. Not only was I fortunate that I started next to a village, there was a bamboo jungle right next door, which would make this whole emerald process way easier. Taking over the local librarian's house, this is where I would plan my base. It was nice and cozy, it just needed a bit more shaping. I'm sure they wouldn't mind. While doing all that demo, I accidentally killed my first mob. With building the chests, I can now make this stolen house a stolen home, and claim it as my property. With my housing crisis solved, in-game, I can now start on my goal of a villager breeder. Now, I stored these two villagers inside this house to make it a lot easier on me to get them out, and they ran away. So I think this is going to be a little bit harder than I originally thought. However, after a bit of wrangling, I was able to get one in a boat and start on the actual breeder itself. Hope this guy is comfy, because he's going to be in there forever. Luckily, he won't be alone, though. While trying to get two villagers, though, a nitwit snuck into one of the boats. I like boats. So I had to punish it the only way I found acceptable. I couldn't find a single villager for a while, but I knew there was one right at the top of the hill in the cleric's house. So after destroying part of his house, I was able to bring him down the hill and into the breeder. With both villagers inside, it was time to spawn-proof it, so nothing could get in or out. While trying to make an area for the beds, a drown came out of nowhere and started attacking me and the villagers with a trident. Luckily, I did not die and the villagers did not die. Unluckily, I did not get a trident out of this whole ordeal. After placing the beds, the trapdoors, and the villagers' workstations, it was time for them to start breeding. Still without child, I wanted to check on my villagers, and finally my cleric had turned into a Fletcher, which means my stick to emerald factory was about to begin. Wouldn't you know it, when I wasn't paying attention, they had their first child. And just like their parents, I tried to get in a boat, and just like their parents, they did not want to cooperate. But I eventually got them in, and it was getting dark, so I had to hide them in the side of a cliff. And I definitely came back to rescue them at some point, someday. While I was heading back home, I saw someone in my bed. And if he wanted to stay there, I was going to make sure that he was going to stay there forever. Surprisingly, that was only my first hour. But now I think it was time to start the mine in Minecraft. Primarily focused on finding coal and iron. I think I did a pretty good job for the first mining session. After returning to the surface, I decided to start on my first official farm, pumpkins. And wanted to set up a toolsmith for diamond tools in the future. While exploring a little bit, I noticed something in the distance and discovered an unfinished portal. After clearing out the debris, I decided to pillage the chest, use the flint and steel, and go to the nether. Not for like a long time, but just to see what was on the other side. I fully did not intend to stay in the nether for that long, but I mean, there's a nether fortress right there, and I found diamonds, so a bit more exploring around, and I found melons, seaweed, and sugarcane, which will all be useful later. It was about hour 5 at this point where I became comfortable with trading with my villagers, sticks, carrots, iron, and I was able to finally get my first enchanted tool trade. Then I decided to start on my first automatic farm of carrots. It was going great, but then I sadly forgot to hit record and the final steps. But here is the final product. There's a villager in the cobblestone box. The farmer villager throws them carrots, but the carrots go in a hopper, and I take the carrots. It's like American capitalism. Then, of course, I had to make an automated sugar and bamboo farm, but that was very quick. 7 hours in, and I finally got my first diamond tool enchanted trades. Look at them, beautiful. Hour 10, and I'm finally starting on the most important farm in any Minecraft world. That's right, the iron farm. With the majority set up, it was time to get the villagers inside, and that was a struggle, but a good one. Once inside, it was time to clean up, so here is some satisfying footage of cleaning up gravel. Enjoy. While I was out looking for a zombie for the farm, one just happened to walk up. It was perfect. Nothing was going wrong.
I do good. I protect villagers.
Well, back to square one. One quick thing, though.
Oh, ow, oh, I deserve this.
I was able to get a new zombie fairly quickly. However, he would not take my helmet, so a name tag was needed, which means I had to make a new librarian, go through all of its trades, just to get a name tag. And I think he has a great name. It was a lot of work to get that zombie in there, but in the end, it's worth it for unlimited iron. Hour 12, and I get my first diamond axe, and I accidentally let my villager go. But don't worry, he went back. After a full night of AFKing, we're now on hour 20 with a full chest of iron and poppies. Using that full chest, I convert them into emeralds, buy my first diamond sword, my first diamond pickaxe, and a full set of diamond armor. That brings us to hour 25. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I started to just vibe with building, forgot to record a bunch, but here's what I made in those 5 hours. Updated the pumpkin farm, sugarcane farm, bamboo farm, added a birch tree farm, melon farm, and updated the villager trading hall. With all of those great villagers, I was able to make my super pick. And with that super pick, I decided to go mining for some resources, but I needed some night vision potions just in case I stumbled into the deep dark. But I forgot you need blaze powder, so that means another trip to the nether. Found some wither skeletons, had to kill them. Eventually found a blaze. And finally, nearing hour 27, and it was finally time to go mining. This mining trip, I really didn't find anything useful, but it did give me a lot of resources, so I could turn this into this, which brings us to hour 30. And what an exciting time hour 30 was for me. I started working on a slime farm and a slime chunk, and then realized that it wasn't a slime chunk, and I was just digging a random hole. So I went on an adventure to find a swamp to get slimes. While I was upset that it wasn't a slime chunk, I was able to find a couple of shipwrecks, a coral reef, a mangrove tree, found an ocean ruin, and more importantly found a trident, which I will be keeping for later. After reaching the swamp, I was greeted by the locals, who did not treat me kindly, so I did not treat them kindly back. I also found this super cool underwater cave system that I'm definitely coming back to because this is awesome. Found this super cool ruined nether portal, looted that, and then in the distance I saw light, and I knew it was a village, and this time I was going to treat them with respect and dignity and not steal I stole all of their stuff. I have no self-control. Hour 33 brings us back home, where I planted the mango tree and put mending on the trident. AFKing for 7 hours. It's now hour 40. I come on real quick just to do some housekeeping work, and yeah, I died for the first time in this whole Let's Play, so whoops. I then went and spent the next 2 hours on the slime farm, and then it didn't work. Great. I was feeling very defeated with that slime farm, but I know that I'll use that space later for a different type of farm. I decided to spend the remaining hours beautifying the world around us and AFKing, which brings us to here. Hour 50. I didn't know I could get this much done in a Minecraft world in 50 hours. And I'm glad that I now know this information, and I hope that you guys can now see what you can get done in 50 hours. Or more. Because what if I were to tell you that this may be a server and you may be able to play on it? Interesting. Well, I'll be continuing this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.